Have you ever wanted to talk about Jesus but stopped yourself? You wanted to post something about faith but deleted it. You wanted to pray in front of people but you suddenly felt embarrassed. Or maybe someone asked you about what you believe and instead of speaking boldly, you stayed quiet. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. But the real question is, why are so many young Christians afraid to speak about Jesus? Stay with me until the end because that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Let's be honest. For many young Christians, being public about faith feels uncomfortable. At school, online, at work, or even with friends. And it's not because we stop loving God. Sometimes it's because of fear. Fear of being judged, fear of looking too religious, fear of being seen as intolerant, extreme, or outdated. We live in a culture where people openly talks about just about everything. But somehow mentioning Jesus can feel awkward. People openly talk about manifestation, the universe, astrology, energy, but just say, I believe Jesus changed my life. And suddenly the whole room changes. The whole atmosphere shifts. Some of us have learned to keep our faith private to avoid conflict. So we stay silent, not because we don't care, but because we're scared. But here's something powerful. Jesus already knew this was going to happen. And that is why in John chapter 15, verse 18, Jesus says, if the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. And that means, my friend, that this struggle isn't new. Being a Christian was never meant to be an easy road. But hear this carefully. Jesus never asked you to be loud. He asked you to be faithful. You don't need to debate with everyone. You don't need to argue online. You don't need to force people to believe what you believe. You just need to be faithful. Sometimes speaking about Jesus simply means being unashamed, praying before a meal, sharing a video that helped you, like this one, being kind when everyone else is bitter, standing for truth in love. And maybe the reason some of us stay quiet is because deep down we care too much about what people think. But think about this. If Jesus carried the cross publicly for us, why are we ashamed to speak of his name privately? That question challenges me too. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is choosing Jesus even while being afraid. If you've been afraid to speak about your faith, this is not condemnation. This is encouragement. Because you're not the only one struggling with this. Even Peter denied Jesus out of fear, but God still used him powerfully. You don't need perfect confidence. You just need one small step. And maybe that small step today means posting something, praying for someone, invite someone to church, or even sharing this video that you're watching now with someone, or just simply not hiding who you are anymore. Because this generation doesn't need perfect Christians, it needs courageous ones. So let me ask you something. What would change if you stopped being ashamed about Jesus? I'd love to hear what you think. So please comment below. Have you ever been afraid to talk about your faith before? And if this video encouraged you, please like and subscribe for more.